Hi gang, so today we're talking about section 1.7, angles and triangles. So first of all, what is an angle? An angle is when two lines start from the same point and go out. So here, this point is what we call the vertex. It starts here and these two lines go out. The angle is the space between these two lines. Here's the same thing. Our vertex is this point here in the middle. Our two lines are going up and out, and then our angle is here between them. And then finally here, our vertex is right here with our lines going up, and our angle is here in the middle. An angle is what we use, or we're going to look at that and how to measure it, because unlike lines, where we can just measure the distance of the line, like so, an angle is different because depending on where we put our ruler, the size changes. So if I take this one for example, if I start here and measure at this point, well, my angle looks like it's only 2 centimeters. But if I measure up here, my angle is about 26 centimeters. So depending on where we measure, if we use just a regular ruler, we get different answers. An angle, though, when we measure it, to be more precise, we use a protractor. So if you have one of these plastic protractors in your desk, this is what we'll need for this unit. And a protractor, it's measured in degrees. So around the outside, it starts at 0 and goes to 180. And then on the other side, too, it starts at 0 and goes to 180. And you'll see why, shortly, why they have it 2 times on the same protractor. So to measure an angle, it's really important that you put this little point here in the middle on the vertex. Because if it's offset, if it's not on the right spot, you won't get the good measurement. So what I do, I take this point here, my middle point, I put it on the vertex, and I look where it says 0. So I have it here, it's on the vertex, this is on my bottom line. And now because my protractor has 2 different measurements, I'm going to start where it's 0 and it goes up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And to find my measurement, I go all the way up and here it's at 50. So I have a choice of it's either at 50 or 130. But because I want to start on the inside because this is where my 0 is, I know I'm going to take a smaller number of 50 degrees. So the measurement of this angle is 50 degrees. And you've probably seen degrees before, usually when we're talking about temperature, degrees Celsius or degrees Fahrenheit, but that's not the case here. These degrees, it's instead of saying centimeters or millimeters or kilograms, this is our unit of measure for an angle. So when you're measuring an angle, you always have to have that degrees symbol there. This one here, it's a special angle, and usually we put a curve in our angle, but when you see a square, it's a special kind of angle. And you'll see in just a second why. So I want to measure my angle. I put my middle of my protractor on the vertex. The bottom of my protractor is on the line. My protractor is on the bottom line. And when I look up here, I go all the way up. Here's my line. I can see it's on the 90. Any angle that's 90 degrees, that's straight up and down and straight across, we put a square, and so that square means I don't have to measure it. I know that. That is always 90 degrees. If I had an angle that looked like this, it could also look like this, and the square means it's 90 degrees. If I have one that looks almost 90 degrees but isn't, I'll put this curve in. That means that this is almost 90 degrees. Well, it means it's not 90 degrees, basically. It could be 89, could be 88, could be 94, but this, when there's a curve, it's not 90 degrees. This one, it is. And we call that a right angle. So that's all a synonym. Here, same thing, it doesn't have the square, it's a rounded one, so I know it's not 90 degrees. Same thing, I take that middle point of my protractor, I put it here on the vertex. My bottom of my protractor going along the bottom of the angle. I come up. Now here I look at the 0. The 0 is still on the inside for me. So I go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Go all the way over to about 126 degrees. 126 degrees. So just to give you an idea a little bit closer, I came all the way around. I started at the bottom here, all the way around past 90. I'm looking on the inside to 120. Then each little tick, it's 1. So 121, 22, 23, 24, 25. And then my line was right here at 126 degrees. I can have it where my angle doesn't always have that bottom line like this, parallel to the chalkboard. I could have an angle that looks like this. It's the same thing. My vertex is here. I just need to turn my protractor. So it doesn't matter which way I go. I can measure it this way or I can measure it this way. The important thing is that my middle point is always on the vertex. Like this, here. The protractor is equal with one of the lines of my angle. I go up and now I can see that this is 33 degrees. Important to always have that little degree symbol there. Now, for our angles, depending on the size of them, I suppose, we have different names for them. So as I already mentioned, this is called the one that's 90 degrees. It's called a right angle. If you notice this one on the left, we can say it's smaller than 90 degrees because 90 degrees would be, well, can't really do it like this. If it's smaller than 90 degrees, we call it acute angle. Back I'll put an. It's not acute angle, it's an acute angle. So make sure that acute, it goes together. It's one word, this one. Now you can think, oh, it's so cute, it's so small. Maybe that's a good way for you to remember it. So when they're small like this, it's called an acute angle. So anything from 0, well, I guess probably 1 degree up until 89, that's an acute angle. This one is a right angle. And one that's bigger than 90 degrees, so passes this 90 degree mark, but it's less than a straight line. Anything bigger than that, between up like this and the straight line, we call that, I'll find my orange chalk, an obtuse angle. So those are the 3 types of angles and how you measure using a protractor. So once again, the most important thing is that this middle point is on, oops, there it is. That middle point is on your vertex, that the bottom or one of the lines of the angle is following along, and then you use the right number system where it starts at 0, where your line is, to count up your degrees. Because if you start on the wrong side, you're going to tell me it's 110 degrees when it's actually not. Because 110 degrees would be an obtuse angle. So if you're measuring an acute angle, you need it to be smaller than 90 degrees. That's it. Have a good one.